Have you ever wanted to add a zipper pocket to a bag that you're making and it just isn't listed in the pattern of how to do it and you're unsure? Well, today I'm going to show you how to add a zipper pocket to any bag pattern. Hi there, I'm Laura, one of the owners and designers here at Rivet Patterns, and today we're going to talk all about a zipper pocket. Whether the zipper pocket goes up and down or from side to side, I'm going to show you how to make a zipper pocket and add it to any bag pattern. Here's what we need to create our zipper pocket. We need a measuring tool, a cutting tool, a writing tool, an iron, some either pins or double-sided tape. We need our zipper. We need our lining fabric, and we also need our main fabric or outer fabric or lining fabric, whatever you're adding your pocket to. Let me show you some examples of some zipper pockets. This is the Sonata sling bag and backpack, and we've added a zipper pocket that goes up and down. So you can do a pocket that's up and down. You can do one that's diagonal. You can do one that's on the outer, or like this medley one that's on the this is the lining on the inside. It's totally up to you. You could put zipper pockets anywhere and everywhere on your bag. It's up to you. They can be in the center. They can be on the side. For this one, it's on the inside. If you open it up, you've got a beautiful, hopefully, I don't know if you can see it, zipper pocket there. All right. Those are your zipper pocket options. This one's fun because it's on the side, and so you've got a nice amount of space in there. So this is just for adding a basic zipper pocket to any bag. So the first thing we want to do is grab our outer, and we want to determine how long we want our zipper to be and the placement of it. So this is about 12 inches across. I want to find the center, so I'm just going to finger press it. You can mark it with a pen. You could iron it. It's totally up to you. Here are the things you need to look out for when you're creating this zipper pocket. The pocket cannot go all the way out to the raw edges on the side seams, okay? Because the box has to come in. So if your seam allowance is a 1/2 inch, that box has got to come in inside of that, okay? And not too close, otherwise it's difficult to sew, right? You want it to be big enough to be manageable, but small enough to stay out of your seams. Additionally, you don't want it up too high and in this seam allowance either. You need to bring it down. So like if you're top, you generally have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, at least we do. And so if you bring it up here, then you're not going to be able to sew the top of that bag because it's going to be within that 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you want to bring it down about 1.5 inches is kind of like my happy point. So I'm actually going to mark down about 1.5 inches. You can come down further even. So if I come down to about 1.5 inches, that's about right here. No, I'm sorry. Is that right? Oh, yeah. So you can come down 1.5 inches or 2. So if you have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, it's going to be like this, and it's not really going to get in the way too much. But if you want to be safe, by all means, come down 2 inches. Okay? So let's mark down that center line 2 inches. Just like this. All right, and that's where the top of your box is going to begin. All right, so I would like, let's see, if we took like this is 3, here's the center line here. Okay, if I take 3 inches to this side and 3 inches to this side, centered, I've got a 6-inch zipper, and you can see this gives me tons of clearance here and tons of clearance here. So if I have a box corner or whatever, I'm losing a little bit. So 6 inches really is a good spot. So I'm going to draw a 6-inch line. Okay. That's 6 inches. Then that's across. And then down from that on either end, I want to draw a 1/2 inch line. So I want a 1/2 inch opening there. So there's our 1/2 inch. There's another 1/2 inch. And then across. Matching up those. Okay. There it is. So if you're buying zippers, just out buying zippers, you could buy a 6-inch zipper and you'll be fine. If you're using zipper tape, then you need to add an inch for this side and an inch for this side. That's what I like to do to give myself room. So that's an 8-inch zipper. So this one is even longer than that. It's just a scrap of a zipper. This one's 10 inches long. It doesn't need to be that long, but it does give me a lot of movability, maneuverability, excuse me, when centering it, and I have just enough extra. You need about an 8-inch zipper if you're using zipper tape. If you're using regular zipper that you just buy a singular zipper and you have a 6-inch zipper, it's perfect. You'll be fine. Now, we need to cut our lining piece. In the same way that we added an inch to either side of our zipper, we need to do the same thing with our zipper lining piece. It cannot be 6 inches. It has to be wider. So I'm doing an inch on this side and an inch on this side. You could do a little bit more if you want. That's totally up to you. But an inch should give us what we need. So if this is 6 inches, we're adding an inch over here. That's 7. An inch over here. That's 8. Now, we know we want it 8 inches wide. How deep do we want it? You need to decide what you want. So if this is the bottom seam, excuse me, and we use a 1/2 inch, okay, and that's about 8.5 inches. I can do 7 inches down from the top of here. I'll have a little bit here, so it'll still come up just a little bit, maybe 6.5 inches deep, because I'll have some fabric up here at the top. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I need a front and I need a back because I'm making a whole pocket. So I'm doubling that. So if I want 7 inches, I'm going to double it and make it 14. Bam, done. So we have an 8-inch wide, 14-inch tall or long, however you want to say that, piece of lining fabric. If I fold that in half, which is what your zipper pocket's going to be, and I just kind of place it over there, you can see I have plenty of room here. 7 inches this direction. And when I doubled it, because I need to make the pocket, it's 14. I hope that makes sense. All right, now let's move our outer out of the way. Let's turn our pocket lining to where it's wrong side up. Now, in the same way that we made our rectangle here, we have to make it here. So we want to center it on our lining. This is if it's not in the pattern and it's not already spelled out for you in the pattern. Okay. Do this just so I can see it a little bit better. All right. We're going to come down about an inch from the top. That gives us a seam allowance because we will be sewing these pieces together at the top, and we need to be able to have that seam allowance. And I want to stay safe, so I do 1 inch. So I'm going to mark an inch down, just like this. And then again, we need to measure 3 inches to either side of the center. So that's a 6-inch zipper opening, just like this. Down a 1/2 inch. And across. Okay, so again, we are right at 6 inches. There it is. Now what we're going to do, we're going to bring our outer and we're going to bring our lining. And the goal is to match up these boxes. Now, additionally, you can just guesstimate. I do a lot of guesstimating. All right, and this is what I want. You know, I want it about here. Or you could just, here's the end, here's the end. Oh, I'm pretty good. And we line those up and it looks just like this. Okay, so keep this unfolded. Okay, give us a few pins here. We want to keep it all in place. And now we are going to stitch around, we're going to stitch around this rectangle right on top of the markings that we made. So right on the pin marks, all the way around the rectangle, making sure to backstitch. All right, now we're going to grab our scissors and we need to cut out this opening. I'll show you what I do. I will take my outer and my lining and I'm going to fold it like this in half and I'm going to match this here. And I'm going to, at this fold, just give a little snip, just enough to get my scissors through, and then open it back up. And you can see I've got a little hole here. I'm going to cut all the way down to about a 1/2 inch from this stitch line and then diagonal into the corners as close to the stitch line as possible without going through. Same on the other side. I'm going to do this just like that. Okay, now going to need our iron for this next step. Okay, we're going to lift this up. We're going to push our lining through the opening, the top and the bottom piece. So the top doesn't always want to go very easily. depending on the fabric you chose. And then we want to pull those corners out. The corners should look nice and sharp. You don't want any bubbles. If you do have bubbles, then you need to cut a little bit, snip a little bit closer to those, the corners of that stitch line, okay? So this is the inside. So no one's going to see the inside. You just really want to make sure the outside looks good. So let's iron this or press this, and then we'll turn it over, and we'll check the other side, the outer. That looks pretty decent. I'm thinking we're going to look good over here. Ah, here we go. So you want to give that a press. All right. So now we have the opening to our zipper pocket, and it looks pretty fun. I love these little openings. So I just feel very accomplished. The next goal is to take our zipper, and we're going to center it inside that opening just like this. Let's get that zipper pull out of the way, just like that, okay? And then you're going to stitch around it. Now, you can use pins, you can use double-sided tape, just like this, or you can eyeball it and just do it without any securing, which if you've done it a million times, you could probably do it without securing it altogether. It's up to you how you choose to do it. All right, so if you're using double-sided tape, you're going to put one piece on the bottom, just like this, one piece on the top. Okay, and I'm just using chunks. You can go all the way across with it if you want. All right, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paper off the bottom piece. I'm going to just line up the bottom, okay, and get it perfectly centered, just like this. It's really easy to adjust. There we go. If you need more tape, put it on there, okay? Then I'm going to turn this just like that and move my zipper pull. And I'm going to take the paper off of the top one as well. That way I'm just flopping it over. It's already where it needs to be, hopefully. All right, so there's that piece. If you need to adjust anything, do it, okay? Add a pin or another piece of tape. Get it done. Do whatever you need to do. Like you can add a pin here if it keeps wanting to lay wonky. There we go. Voila. Okay, that's what it should look like, whether you're using pin or tape. Tape is the easiest. We're going to lengthen our stitch length, a little bit, and we're going to stitch all the way around this, okay? So we're not fold. This is what it looks like on the other side. Do not stitch it like that or you won't be able to use your pocket. This has to stay unfolded, okay? Just like that, all the way around. All right, here we go. Now, I used a contrasting thread, so every little mistake I made is showing, and that's okay. Use a matching thread. All right, so here we go. It is all attached. If we turn it over, we can see my horrible stitch job. We could trim, we could go ahead and trim those zippers. The other side. Just like that. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these short raw edges and we're going to match them to the short raw edges of the top. Here we go. Now we're going to sew from here to here to here to here, but not sewing through the outer. So we're going to lift up our pocket. We're going to push the outer out of the way like this. So when we're sewing, we're only sewing through the pocket. Then we put our needle down, our presser foot up, and then we pivot, and then we lift it. We put our needle and presser foot down, and then we scooch this out of the way. We fold it out of the way. It's hard to do like this. There we go. And then we'll sew across here. Needle down, presser foot up. Again, pivot again. Put our needle down, presser foot down, and then we're going to push that out of the way and stitch down there. You're going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is not difficult to do. Just make sure you move the fabric out of the way. Okay, here we are. Let's turn it over. You can see that I did not catch the outer in anything. All right. I tried to take a video over there on my sewing machine to give you, more insight into how that's done. And so here we have our zipper pocket. If we open it, we have a nice zipper lining there, and we're ready to go. That's how you add a zipper pocket to any bag.